Autobots, Decepticons, and Duelists. Welcome to today's video. And let me just start off by saying Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. So yeah, today is actually going to be a bit of a different video if you have not noticed already. So instead of me doing a review, I'm going to do a top 10 of the Transformers relationships that I can remember off the top of my head on this very day. For the record, when I say relationships, I mean boyfriends and girlfriends. I do not mean like brothers or sisters or friends, that kind of stuff. So we're just exclusively looking at relationships. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's just jump straight into the top 10. But number 10 is Power Glide and Moon Racer. Sorry, I almost blanked on his name. So yes, I put him at the 10 because I don't really remember Moonracer's personality a lot, and it was she wasn't really shown that much in that one G1 episode, unfortunately. And that's where these two characters are from G1. I forgot to mention that. Now Power Glide, he did have some standout moments on G1. Like this one episode, he was tasked with guarding a human to I don't remember all the full details of that episode. Apparently I believe the human fell in love with him, and strangely he was a bit of a jerk to her. But to be fair, the human was strangely like affectionate to him, but he was a bit of a jerk. So I kind of had to put him at 10, unfortunately, and it had nothing to do with Moonracer. It had everything to do with Power Glide. But yeah, I think 10 is a good fit. I mean, I know they interacted in the episode, they held hands, but I do not remember them doing anything else in that episode. But yeah, I think number 10 is a good spot for them. So at number 9 is Drift and Ratchet from IDW. Now, I only put them at number 9 because I have not read IDW, so I generally do not know how the two interacted. But the only reason they're at number 9 is because, well, I have knowledge about G1 Ratchet to some degree. I know IDW is a little different, but Ratchet fundamentally stayed the same in IDW, I believe. And while I technically have not seen official stuff except for like Age of Extinction for Drift, I did kind of watch this one from a really good YouTuber. So I'm basing off that knowledge from that show. And honestly, I think they would be a good couple. I mean, Ratchet's the doctor, and I don't want to say Drift's the murderer, but he's the like honorable swordsman. So it's kind of I don't want to say a match made in heaven, but they're like opposites, but they attract in a way. Yeah, and from what I've generally seen from IDW, they do love each other really much. And plus, Ratchet's gone through some stuff, so he definitely deserves love. I mean, he's a medic who's been fighting in a war. I bet he's seen countless bodies, so he needs some love. And then Drift, he's a Decepticon. Well, he's a former Decepticon turned Autobot who joined the ranks. So hate and hostility there made it a little difficult for him to really enjoy being an Autobot at times. I bet, but I bet with a relationship like with Ratchet that helped a lot. But yeah, no, I don't hate this relationship at all. In fact, I'm actually kind of all for it. I do like it. I just don't know anything about the relationship, unfortunately, so that's why it's at number 9. So at number 8, we have Inferno and Firestar. Now, the only reason these guys are at number 8 is because Inferno mostly carries it. But in the same G1 episode where we were introduced to Power Glide and Moonracer's relationship, we were introduced to Inferno and Firestar's relationship. Unfortunately, just like Moonracer and Powerglide, we didn't see them do much. We saw a few comments, we saw them hold hands a couple of times, but we had nothing to the extent of like Alita 1 and Optimus Prime, or like Ironhide and Chromia. So unfortunately, they're pretty low. Now, again, like I said before, the only reason they're higher than Drift and Ratchet is because Inferno kind of carries this a little bit. Now, in G1, I believe, I don't know how many episodes, it was like three, I want to say 3 to 5 episodes. There was this whole, like, episode, well, these episodes were dedicated to Red Alert about him going crazy and insane because of a fight that broke out and he got injured. He blamed Inferno for it. And while Inferno wasn't the main star of the show, he played a huge role. Inferno was the best friend to Red Alert. He went back to save him and to help him when he needed him most. He wasn't giving up on his best friend, and they made up in the end. And I really love that. And that's why I put him up at here at 8, because I believe I see a little bit of me in Inferno. Like, he's the best friend who'll always help out, but he's also the friend who like wants to fight. He wants to have some, I don't want to say fun, but he wants to help out in the battlefield as well. He wants to fight. Yeah. And then plus it's her name's Firestar. Fire Inferno, who's a fire truck and puts out fires. It's again like the opposites attract kind of thing. So I kind of feel like they had to be number 8 just for how funny their names are. And plus I just overall I do like Fire Star's design, so I feel like it kind of balances out. And I do like Inferno. He's a really nice guy. So I honestly see him as me. So I think that's why I put him at 8. Here at number 7 is the Fallen, aka Megatronus, and Solus Prime. I blanked on her name for a second. You could argue this is the first relationship in the chronological order, technically. Now, technically, they weren't official in any other media except for Transformers, Combiner Wars, Titans Return, and Power of the Primes. So technically, you could call this as non-canon, but it's just you got to admit it's the ironic thing about it. These guys were lovers, and then one killed them and became the first Decepticon ever. So you kind of have to put it at a high number, and I think number 7 is a good number. Now, we don't technically know a whole lot about these. I mean, we know a lot about Megatronus, aka the Fallen. We don't know much about Solus Prime, but Solus Prime is the creator of the Requiem Blaster and the weapons for Megatronus, at least in Power of the Primes. It could be wrong in any other continuity. And from what I've seen in Power of the Primes, they did generally love each other. I'm sure Megatronus was a bit too hot-headed and like egocentric, so that kind of takes him down a peg or two. So yeah, I have to kind of put that there. And but I do think Solus Prime was trying to handle the situation as best she could. Can't fault her for that. I mean, it was Megatronus who pulled the trigger. Was it an accident or not? It all depends on your perspective. Me personally, from what I saw in Power of the Primes, I don't think it was an accident. I do think he purposely and intentionally did it. So yeah. And then plus it kind of sparks the whole Power of the Prime series, so it it has to be pretty high. And so I think number 7. And number 6 is Black Arachnia and Optimus Prime from Transformers Animated. Yeah, it was. I'm not gonna lie. You could probably argue this is like the first triangle arc, because technically Sentinel Prime did love Black Arachnia. Well, technically it was Alita 1 and then Black Arachnia, but I feel like Black Arachnia is where the love still sparks, and that's what she currently is now in the show. So it has to be Black Arachnia and Optimus Prime. It's the first like triangle way. I mean, technically, it's still I don't want to say a triangle because Sentinel Prime loves Black Arachnia, but Black Arachnia loves Optimus Prime, and so there's a love-hate relationship going around. I do kind of like the story of where they were going. I love how Optimus Prime was trying to save Black Arachnia over and over again, but Black Arachnia just could not be. Well, she didn't want to be saved. She was happy being a well. She wasn't happy being a Decepticon, but she just didn't want to be saved by Optimus Prime. Because I do think she personally blames Optimus Prime for letting her down too, just like Sentinel Prime does. So, yeah. Uh, there were dedicated episodes to this. Like the very first episode, we were introduced to Black Arachnia. This is when this whole relationship thing started, and that was great. I do kind of wish Optimus Prime did save Elite One in the end, because towards the end, spoilers if you haven't seen animated, Black Arachnia, unfortunately, well, she didn't die. She got, from what was shown in the episode, she got sent either forward in time or back in time to when the Beast Wars were happening, and so she had to join them in that war. And so she's technically still alive, but she's no longer a part of the timeline of where Optimus Prime and Sentinel Prime reside. Yes. Generally, I love this relationship. I thought it was funny. I did think it was a little cheesy here and there, so that's why they're kind of at 6. But I put them at 6 for generally because I do think they loved each other. They were just two souls who were drifting further and further apart, unfortunately. From the same episode as number 10 and number 7, we have Chromia and Ironhide. Yeah, so I put him at 5 because, well, I generally loved Ironhide from G1. He was very funny, really hard and warrior, voiced by Peter Cullen, so you can't hate him. You have to love Ironhide. He was great. This relationship got probably the second most screen time compared to all the others, and I'm glad they did it. Essentially, Chromia from that episode was just another Ironhide, essentially, a female version of Ironhide, with a completely opposite color palette. So generally, I could not see them not being together. I mean, they were literally the exact same character, just in a different body. And plus, like I said, I love Ironhide. Ironhide definitely deserved Chromia, and Chromia definitely deserved Ironhide. I did. It was funny though. I did like how Ironhide was trying to be very protective of both him and both his friends and all the girls. It was kind of chivalrous of him, and I did love it. I do kind of wish we saw more of this, or at least had more episodes with Ironhide and Chromia being together. Yeah, I mean the episode kind of speaks for itself. These guys were pretty good together. Honestly, had if the war had ended, I could definitely see these guys getting together, and I could definitely see these guys sticking it out for the long run. I do generally think they'd be happy, and I hope they were happy in the relationship. But yeah, that number 5. I honestly think this is a pretty good relationship. I don't want to say average. I definitely want to say that there was. If we're going to rank this by human standards, I definitely think one day they could get married. So yes. At number 4 is Black Arachnia and Silverbolt. So, okay, I did like this relationship. While I found it very cheesy at some parts, I did generally think they were really good for each other. Silverbolt was definitely probably the cheesiest one out of them all. I believe since they first met, he was in love with Black Arachnia. He saw her as like this troubled soul that needed help. He was trying to be very chivalrous and tried to put her on the path of good. Black Arachnia, being Black Arachnia, did not like it, so she refused multiple times. Honestly, could have probably killed Silverbolt. I don't hate Silverbolt, but honestly, probably should have done it anyways. I did generally like their relationship. They were funny at times. They did generally love each other, and I'm happy that they did. I mean, Silverbolt was he was manipulated at first, so to see him want to try to help and save others, generally I love it. I did love the ending. well, not the ending. I did love their last like relationship focused episode where Black Arachnia had to save Silverbolt from trying to kill Tarantulas. They honestly could have killed Tarantulas and everyone would have slept better at night. But I'm just saying, Silverbolt nearly died from fighting Tarantulas, and Rampage did show up to kind of, unfortunately, sway the tide of battle against them. But it was cool to see Black Arachnia be the hero that Silverbolt was preaching always being about. So it was kind of I don't want to say full circle, but it was pretty nice. It was a good arc. But yeah, I think number 4 is a good spot for that. And at number 3 is a relationship that I don't really remember that much, or nor did I really care for. It's Springer and RC. Now, they weren't cheesy, they weren't corny at all. They did generally love each other, but for season 3 and 4, well, mostly 3, that just wasn't my peak interest. I did not generally care for this relationship. Looking back on it, I did make a mistake. They did generally. It was definitely a good relationship. They did generally love each other. Springer was a bit overprotective. Like every time, I believe in that one human episode, like Human Factor or something. He mentioned helping RC a bunch of times. Said nothing about his leader, Rodimus Prime, I believe. You can guys correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember the episode, nor have I seen the episode in a while. But yeah, I don't hate it. I do generally like it. But I have to put it so high due to how like not iconic it is, but how like memorable it is, and plus from what I've seen from other people about this relationship. So that's why it's at number 3. But I do generally hope that they're happy, and I almost said I hope to see you in the next video, but no, we're not done yet. We got 2 more. And now in the top 2 is probably the most iconic relationship we're gonna get in Beast Wars, and that's Tigatron and Airazor. They loved each other. He was like the lone wolf who always needs saving, and Airazor was the one who was always saving him. Just the spark was there. They started falling in love with each other, and I loved it. I did love the relationship. The only problem was they died way too soon. We needed more screen time with this. But the ending was perfect. I mean, you could not had a better ending for this relationship. I mean, they were dying, they held hands, and then their sparks were extracted, and they were just sent off to the heavens. Like, God, that's the only crime with Beast Wars, is that we could not have more of this. And yeah, I can't really even say the ending was a perfect ending, because in the next episode, well, not the next episode, but the next episode with their relationship, they get they get merged into one and become Tigerhawk. You can't even, and they don't even have like a split personality, which I honestly think would have been pretty cool. Like he would be the lone wolf and be like the hard fighter, while she would be the gentler giant, and they just like swap through it. Nope, it just stayed as Tigatron, and he just had to suffer a life without having his beautiful wife. I almost said wife, but like girlfriend. But it's a tragedy. So yeah, number 2. I don't think anyone can argue with me. Like I do believe number 2 and number 1 cannot be changed. You could probably make an argument for number 3 to 10, but number 2 is where this one's staying, and it's not going anywhere else. And of course, at number 1 is the most iconic relationship, and probably the most talked about relationship. It's Elita 1 and Optimus Prime from every kind of media. Now, let's start off with G1. G1, they were just a perfect match made in heaven. I mean, they're just like Ironhide and Chromia. They were the exact same personalities, just in different souls. I do want to say Optimus Prime was probably a little wiser than Elita 1, but it's just the iconic scene of Elita 1 running up to Optimus Prime while he's boarding the Ark. If that doesn't scream love for each other, I don't know what will. I do not. You cannot tell me that. Now, unfortunately, they have been pretty silent with Elita 1 and Optimus Prime. There has not been that much. And what we've had has been pretty dry. Now Transformers Siege through Kingdom and Earthspark. Well, unfortunately, this is kind of where the polar opposites started coming in. She was a hardened battle warrior who saw killing was necessary for certain degrees. Like, literally in the second or third episode, they were about to kill Bumblebee just for helping them. And just because he didn't want to join the Autobots. So, yes, this is kind of where the cracks started showing. But it does kind of make for a pretty good important thing later down the line. But yeah, they just started becoming opposites. And we didn't get anything in Earthspark. We did get a kind of a tease with Elita 1 saying his training sessions, or her training sessions, I mean, are too hard for Optimus Prime. Which is kind of funny. I don't know. But that's kind of like the only thing we get. We don't ever really see them be together as a thing. Now, the thing that the important relationship that we must bring up is their relationship from Skybound. Now, whether you hate Elita 1 or not, you have to admit this is pretty good. We've never seen an Autobot fully rebel against Optimus Prime. And for it to be Elita 1, who's been probably the exact opposite of Optimus Prime, she prioritizes the well-being of Cybertron. There's nothing wrong with that. You can't deny, can't disagree with her on that. Versus Optimus Prime, who wants to preserve all life, including the humans. They're going to clash. They are going to clash. Now, I do want it to end with either Elita 1 forgiving Optimus Prime, or unfortunately Megatron having to kill her. As much as I hate to say it, I can only see this relationship ending two ways. Maybe Skybound will surprise us. We'll see. But hopefully they do, because they've been killing it, and we need to read Skybound some more. But yes, honestly, the most iconic relationship. No one can even deny me on that. And I'm pretty sure this isn't everyone's favorite relationship. Maybe Tigertron and Eraser can top it, but I do not think any other relationship can top this one. But yeah, that's actually going to be my top 10. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Let me know down in the comments down below what you think about this, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.